Hello and welcome to the Scoop podcast, the podcast that goes beyond the scoreboard of women's cricket. I'm Rana Hussein, and with me, as always, every week is Molly Strano. Hello, Molly.
Hey, Rana.
How's your week been in cricket?
It's been a busy one, actually. The WNCL has finally finished up, well, the home and away season, that is. So New South Wales finally have got an opponent that they can prep and plan for. But
they do.
Yeah, it's been a busy one, and we've also had the 100 auction as well.
I know, we're going to get into it today. We've got a big show to wrap up the summer of women's cricket coming up today. A brand new Australian squad announcement, a WNCL Final just around the corner. And Molly, you and I are going to count down our top 5 moments of the summer. But we're starting with a player who's just received one of the biggest calls of her career. So stay with us because after this, Tahlia Wilson joins us on The Scoop next. New South Wales wicketkeeper Tahlia Wilson has been called into the Australian squad for the upcoming white ball tour of the West Indies as the reserve wicketkeeper. She's been one of the standout performers in domestic cricket this summer and now gets the chance to step into the Australian environment, and she's here to talk about it all with us. Welcome to the show, Tahlia.
Thank you very much, Raina. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so thrilled to have you. We just are dying to know how you're feeling about all this.
Yeah, it's very exciting. When I got the call from Flegs, I was over the moon that I got the opportunity. Obviously, with mid-year retiring, I didn't know what would happen. And being an overseas tour, it's quite exciting that I'm involved in it.
I need to know what was the kind of moment, what were the feelings that came through, and who did you call first?
I was actually in the car, and I was in the car with my dad. I answered the phone call, and once Flegs had told me that, we'd like to take you to the West Indies, his first thing after that, though, was I've spoken to Pete and you'll be available for the WNCL final. So if that was stressing you out, no stress about that. I was pretty lucky. Dad was in the car with me, so obviously I told him straight away and he sort of heard the phone call. And then the next person had to call Mum to make sure that she was in on the loop as well. But, it was really exciting. And once all my Breakers teammates found out, they were over the moon as well.
Tahlia, how do you compartmentalise that? So you're preparing for a WNCL final, and I'm guessing post-final you're probably pretty quick to leave Sydney, am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. I leave on the Monday.
So how are you managing all those emotions right now? Obviously your first Aussie call-up is a pretty euphoric moment, but you also got to juggle trying to prepare for a WNCL final. How are you coping with all of that?
Yeah, it's been pretty big, to be honest, but I was lucky that because I found out so early, I think I've had a little bit of time to process what that's like, get through the excitement, and I'm still really excited now for it. But, for now it's got to go back into WNCL mode. Let us get over the line now and then we'll go from there.
Well, going from there, you go to the Australian squad, which is, I don't know what that's like. So I need to hear it from you. What are you most looking forward to about joining them?
Obviously, they've been a world-class squad for quite a while now, so to be able to join up with them, I was lucky enough to go to an Australian camp in about August before they had their big series and they went away. So it was nice to get a little bit of a touch point then, but it'd be great to be around them and learn off them and to be able to do some keeping with Moons as well. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, what's that like? What is the wicket keeper bond like? Is there a special code? Is there a special language handshake?
I feel like there's a bit of a keeper's club. You can't help it. Keeping is such a unique position, and obviously in every team there's only one of them. Everyone's fighting for that one spot. So I think as a wicket keeper, you understand what it's like to be behind the stumps, sort of some of the takes that some of the girls make. Some people be like, oh, you just take that any day. But as a wicket keeper, you're like, you know what? That was actually a really good take and you need a bit more credit for that.
Oh, I love that. I want to be part of the Wicket Keepers Club. Is this your first tour of the Caribbean, the first time you'll be going there?
Yes, it will be. And I've spoken to Leah Poulton and Jenny Gunn and they've said you're going to absolutely love it. So make sure you pack the swimmers in too.
Is there anything bucket list that you're dying to do? I feel like for cricketers in particular, going to the Caribbean, playing in the West Indies, it is kind of like one of those ones you want to tick off. But is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to or that you really want to get done?
Not in particular, but I'm sure the girls will have a few trips planned. So hopefully I can tag along to a few of them and really enjoy their company and get involved in the experiences they have.
And Tahlia, you're a good country girl, grew up in Fig Tree, just outside of the Gong. What are some of your early memories playing cricket as a junior in that part of the world?
I better say this first. I'm from Albion Park. My mum will go at me if I don't mention this on the
I'm
podcast.
so sorry. I thought I was a well-researched podcast host, but I'm obviously not.
Was born at Fig Tree Hospital, so it always comes up that everyone just thinks it's Fig Tree. But I'm a Park girl through and
Apologies,
through.
Mum.
But yeah, it's, for me, I played boys cricket from under 10s to under 16s, and I was lucky enough to go through with the same lot of boys through the whole thing. And I had one particular coach. He pretty much coached just most of the way through as well. So I was really lucky with my experience. And I hope that young girls now still have the same experience. It's great to see that there are women's comps and girls comps starting, but I don't think there's a better place to play than in the boys' game as well to test yourself.
I find that so interesting. And obviously it sounds like it was a great experience for you. What was that support like from the boys? Because we often hear the horror stories, but you've clearly had a great time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it helps when you're family friends with some of them. And as I said, you grow up playing with them. You start in under 10s, you work your way through to under 16s. They become like brothers, and they're probably more protective of me than when I would go out in the field and something would happen, or, just being a girl, sometimes things can be said around, you got out by a girl or a girl hit a four of you. But they were like, what, she's our best player in our team. So it was really good to have this support.
That's so delightful. Are you still in touch with any of them? Have any of them sent you congratulations texts?
Yeah, definitely. A fair few of them actually. And some of them still play with my brother back at home in our local first grade comp. So yeah, it's pretty cool to still be able to go home and watch some of them play too.
Tahlia, growing up, I want to go back to the Keepers Union. Sorry, we spoke about it for a bit, pivoted, and I want to come back again. Who were some of your role models growing up, and how did you get into wicket keeping?
Well, I started keeping in under 12s, and obviously when you're in under 10s, you have it over where you rotate, and I kept maybe like one over every so often, and then you just keep rotating positions. But I was lucky in under 12s that we sort of shared it between a couple of us, and my dad was a wicket keeper when he played, and he never pushed me into it, but obviously it always helps when you've got someone like that who has something in the past that can help you with that. So yeah, I got into keeping, and then Dad said, look, like if you enjoy it, like why don't we try and stick at it for a bit longer? So then through under 14s and under 16s, I'd share the keeping with another fella. But then at the same time, I'd be able to take the gloves off and I'd have a bowl. We used to bowl some deadly medleys, we'll say, little innies. But and like having Midge around the squad, I always looked up to her being in the women's game. She was, not only did she play cricket, but she played hockey too. And the first time I met Midge was actually at a hockey game. So, it was pretty cool to see where she went playing both hockey and cricket too.
What incredible role models you've had. We hear a lot about the batter's mindset and what kind of concentration that takes. What is the wicket keeper's mindset? What's going through your brain? What do you have to focus on?
Midge would probably say something different because you know what she's like when she's on the field.
Yes.
But for me, it's very much being able to switch on and switch off between balls, because every ball, the good thing with being a keeper is that every ball you think is going to come to you when you're in every play. Like whenever anyone in the field throws the ball back to you, you know that the ball's 99% of the time somehow going to make it back to you. So I think, being able to switch on and off between balls so you can be really on when you're on that ball. And then, between that, just sort of having a bit of a fun. I probably don't give as much stick as some of the other keepers do, but I find my other ways to do it.
Well, that's great advice, especially for any young little wicket keepers, budding wicket keepers listening. In terms of mindset, then you go in as a reserve. What does that do for you? How do you approach something like that? Because you may or may not be going on.
I think that gives me the flexibility to sort of try and expand my game. As I said, I'll be able to spend some time with Moons over there and also with Gav, which would be nice to be reunited with him after him being at New South Wales. But I think for me, if I can learn a bit off Moons, try and fix up or tinker anything in the time being, I think it gives me a great training platform, but also then I'll be ready and raring to go if the opportunity does come.
Tahlia, I love how you spoke about Elisa Healy and how she was a role model of yours and someone that you looked up to as a junior player. How does it feel having this full circle moment where now you have the gloves for New South Wales and Midge is at first slip? How does that feel?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. The first time I did it a few years ago, it was a bit daunting actually, because, I think she had a broken thumb or something at the time, and it was better for her not to keep. But this time around, it's been absolutely awesome. Like, she's just an Energizer bunny. We all love playing with her. And, to the full circle that now in her last game that she's going to be playing with us and she'll be running around there too. I'm really going to look forward to the last game with her.
Yeah, it's pretty special. A nice little changing of the guard moment there at Cricket New South Wales. And is it true that Midge is also hosting the after party after the WNCL final? That's a little rumour I heard on the street.
That could be happening. We'll keep you posted.
Not that you'll be attending. You'll be off to Aussie duties, but the rest of the girls, I hope they have a good time.
And yes, please do keep us posted because we would also like to be there if we can. Speaking of WNCL, you've had an incredible season personally. You've scored heavily over the summer. What do you think clicked for you this year?
I think I've been lucky enough the last few years to be really backed in my top order role at New South Wales and also in Big Bash as well. To be able to go back up to the top of the order this year has made a big difference. And I think it's just going out there, knowing that my game that I have is more than capable of being at the top of the order, and also trying to be selected at the higher honours as well. So, yeah, for me, it's just been trying to keep it nice and simple, go out there with lots of intent, take the bowling on in the power play, and, go from there and try and build a big innings.
When you see progression like that over your career, like how much of that is technical skill and how much of that is just mindset?
I think I've always been quite the technical player. I think a lot of it does start to come down to mindset. Obviously, little technical things do pop up and you always want to try and work on them. Whether that be once a week, just make sure you've got your technical nous down pat. But, I think mindset is a massive one. And now this year with Pete Clark coming into our setup, it's been absolutely amazing. He's been around the Australian squad as their psychologist for the last so many years. I think he's been a great addition to our squad, and being able to sort of help in that mindset space too.
Tahlia, I absolutely love seeing you at the top of the order in both the lime green of the Thunder and the I said this with Maitland, the baby blue, but we're going to call them the sky blues. But it's great to see you at the top of the order for both of those teams because you've had great success up the top in the Spring Challenge, and it's nice to see you get the opportunity this year to open for the Thunder. But I can't help but, keep thinking about the WNCL final because it's always a special week leading up to it. But you're looking to go back-to-back, but how special is it this year to be able to play on your home track rather than away?
Yeah, it's two very different positions we've been in, Mol. Like last year, we were at one of our girls' place watching the final game take place and sort of hoping that the result fell in our favour, and it did. Whereas this year, we've finished with pretty much a guaranteed home final with 2 or 3 games to go. So it's definitely been a very different preparation this year for the final. But, home ground advantage is always really important. And I've had a few messages from a few people saying, we'll come up and watch. Like, we haven't actually been around watching, like, the WNCL games throughout the year. I know there's going to be a lot of support for us when we do rock up on Saturday.
What's the mood like in the group at the moment?
It's bubbly. We've had Midgie back around the group since Monday, so you can imagine what that'd be like. I think everyone that the last win in SA was really important for us, and I think that sort of showed the blueprint of our season. That even if we're not quite up to the standard with bat or ball, that with the other skill that we can sort of get over the line. So I think that was a really good game for us, and everyone's up and about.
Molly Strano was named by Grace Harris. Grace Harris, was it?
Yeah, Grace Harris.
Yeah, it was Grace, yeah. As being part of her Pest 11, basically. I want to know, in the New South Wales side, who would be on that side?
She's currently not playing, but Kiva Bray has to be up there. She's definitely a bundle of joy, but at the same time, when you're still that young, sometimes enough's enough. And with the age range in our group, there's a line and sometimes it can be crossed, but yeah.
I'd love to know what that line is. You're stepping into this Australian squad at a time when there is significant change, but it does feel like a new era, and we've sort of talked about that over the last few weeks. What does it mean for you in particular to be part of this new generation coming through?
Yeah, with the success of the Aussie women for so long now, I think that just sort of builds on the pride that you have when you do get picked in the team. It's been hard to break into for at least 10 years now. So, to be able to break into that side where it is heading in a new direction, but I think that just makes it more exciting. We've got the next generation coming through, and you've seen how successful Belsy's been. And I played under-19s with her, so it's pretty cool to see the amount of under-19s players that I played with in our first tour to South Africa to now be in and around the Australian setup. I think it's really cool to see the progress that's happened.
Before I let you go, I just want to know, what would you say to young Tahlia who would be, to the little girl who would have no idea that she's about to go to the Caribbean and play for Australia? What would you want to say to her?
keep smiling. I know that's one thing that everyone says to me, that I'm always smiling, but you just got to have fun when you're doing anything. And I found that the more fun I've had, the better connections I've made, the teammates that I've been able to play with. It just makes everything a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, Tahlia, we think you will be smiling through and through throughout this entire series, but we are smiling because you have joined us. You've been such a joy to chat to. We couldn't be happier for you. Good luck with the final, and then good luck with the trip. We're so jealous. We wish we could be there.
Oh, we do. And we're trying to get the scoop to go internationally to follow all the tours, but we'll be watching from afar, Tahlia, and cheering for you. So good luck.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me.
That was Tahlia Wilson. She'll be on a plane very soon to the Caribbean playing for Australia. But after this, we are going to look at our top 5 moments of the summer. Okay, well, it has been a massive summer of cricket and there were so many moments and highlights. It is hard to list them all, but we're going to try. We're going to go for some top 5s. I've been dying to hear from you, actually, what your top 5 moments of the summer are. So we're going to roll through them. You've put together a few. Give us number 5 first.
All right, so you want to start at number 5, and I just want to preface this by saying it was a very hard assignment to narrow it down to 5, but I've given it my best shot. So number 5 is the Bundaberg Bullet, Lucy Hamilton. I get so excited about debutantes, and you know this, Rana.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about debutantes on this show, I just light up because Aussie caps are really hard to get, and since 2024, there's only been 1 debutant in the ODI format and 1 debutant in the Test format. So super exciting to see a young player that's come through the pathways finally get the opportunity to, break into the Aussie team. And she did so well on debut, 6 wickets in the Test, and she looked at home. So what a really exciting time for the Australian team that they've unearthed a really, skillful left arm quick, and I see her having a long career in the Aussie colours.
There's something so romantic about a debut, isn't there? It's just my favourite storyline in sport. Someone who is doing it for the first time, getting their chance finally, and then absolutely nailing it. Like, how many of us get the chance? But then when you get the chance, of course, it's hard to perform. But Lucy was just incredible.
Yeah, it makes you feel all the feels, doesn't it? And then you see the cap presentations and family, friends, loved ones are all there celebrating, at times getting quite emotional, which, I do. I don't even really know Luce that well, and I got emotional looking at, witnessing her cap presentation. So that comes in at number 5 for me, Rana.
Okay, number 5, the Bundaberg Bullet debut. I love it. Number 4, you've got the goat and the kid.
I have to shout out to Julia Price for this punchline. And for those at home, a kid is a baby goat. So the goat is Elise Perry and the baby goat is Annabelle Sutherland.
I love a pun. You are speaking my language.
So these two, where do I even start? So Pez has now become the all-time leading test run scorer for Australia. She pipped Karen Rolton in the WACA test, so she now has 1,006 test runs, which is a pretty special effort. And Belzy, I cannot stop talking about her efforts at the WACA in that test,
God.
Player of the match, 129 runs, 6 wickets, spent 80% of the time out on the field, 39 degrees every single day. So the goat and the kid, a special shout out to them. They, as a package deal, they finish in 4th place in my highlights of the summer.
Yeah, I think this is very good. In fact, I don't know if I put it at number 4. I might bump it up in my top 5. LJ talked about this when we spoke to her, Laura Jolly, a couple of weeks ago, but you see the numbers, 1,000 test runs, like that's significant for anyone, but in particular in the women's landscape, given how they play less, there's not as many test matches, like that is huge. That is a huge number. And so it's just nothing to sneeze at. And I think she's just got I know I bang on about it, but there's got to be a statue. I actually want one of Pez and Midge together. Do you reckon we could make that happen?
At the SCG, it just seems fitting, doesn't it? The 2 New South Wales girls. So we'll rally for that.
And Annabelle just feels like she's playing at a different level now. Like she's arrived and it does feel like a passing of the baton, really.
Yeah, we spoke about with Tahlia that sort of full circle moment and the changing of the guard a little bit. And Annabelle's only so young. She burst onto the scene young, so you feel like she's been around forever, but she's only in her early 20s. So the team's in really good hands moving forward.
Oh, I love it. All right, the goat and the kid. That's very good from you. Who have we got at number 3?
It's hard to go past our Midgie, isn't it? So she slots in at number 3, and it's the ODI perfect finish for mine. 158 off 98 balls in her last ODI innings, a strike rate of 161, which you'd be pretty happy with in a T20, let alone an ODI. And classic mid, she went out breaking a record, the highest score ever by an Australian woman on home soil. So pretty special way for Midgie to finish up her ODI career.
It really felt like the perfect ending, didn't it? And I'm interested in what that moment meant for you, like you, Molly Strano, having played with her but watched her for so long. What went through your mind and heart in that moment?
It makes you a little bit sad, doesn't it? Because it's someone that you just become accustomed to seeing in the Australian team, a personality that you become, like so drawn to. And it's just a sad moment. Like LJ mentioned it, there's no more Meg Lanning on the international scene, no more Elisa Healy. They're people that I grew up watching, people that I idolised. So it is a real changing of the guard moment for the Australian cricket team.
Yeah, and very few players get to script their own retirements like that. Like it honestly felt like the perfect ending. And I felt a lot more emotional for some reason during the ODI, her last ODI, more than the test. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just because tests go on for a few days and it didn't feel, it wasn't as big a moment, but all of it and just getting to farewell her as she deserves. Oh, it's just a lot of tears, a lot of tears. But I like that one. I like that at number 3. So we're doing your top 5 moments of the summer. So far, we've had the Bundaberg Bullet debut, Lucy Hamilton, the goat and the kid, Elise Perry and Annabelle Sutherland handing over the baton. Of course, Alyssa Healy's retirement. Who have we got at number 2?
Look, Rana, I'm slightly biased with my number 2, but it's the Hurricanes' first title win.
So biased.
No strings attached there. Just joking. But it wasn't about the Hurricanes' title win. I want to talk about Elise Villani. She's someone that has given so much to the game and not too dissimilar to Elisa Healy. The amount of work she's done behind the scenes to move the women's game forward and for it to be in the place that it is today.
Yeah.
A lot goes down to Elise for that. So, again, retiring on the best note possible. She's played in the competition since, its inception and she's never won a title, played in a few, grand final losses. So what a fitting way for that legend to finish. 149 WBBL games across 3 franchises, an outstanding leader. And the women's game is going to miss her so much. So I was just really glad that she also got her fairy tale moment as well.
Yeah, it's such a weird old summer, isn't it? There's been retirements, step downs from captaincies. It's actually quite emotional. But and we talked about it last week. This Australian women's cricket landscape just regenerates so beautifully, and there's so much talent still to come and coming through. I don't ever feel nervous for us. I just go, there's just going to be new names to follow and to love. Elise Villani also with one of the best haircuts going around, as we discussed.
Yeah, she did win the Best Salad Award in the women's game. So a big summer for Elise Villani on the Scoop podcast, that's for sure.
Absolutely deserved that moment, Villani. All right, that is sitting at number 2. I do like that from you. No bias at all. And give us your number 1 moment of the summer.
Yeah, this was a hard one, and I've actually pivoted away from Australian cricket and Australian domestic cricket, and it's hard to go past India winning their first ever ODI World Cup.
Oh, I'm fully with you. This is my number 1 moment of the summer. I know it feels weird being Australian, but I'm also Indian, so I get to have this too. It's just the benefit of being, a hyphen Australian. The scenes after that win were incredible, and you could just see what it meant, not just for that team, like those individuals, but also what it means for women's cricket in that country. It felt like their arrival, actually. They've been building for so long, but it felt like the first time we really saw Indian cricket actually platform them, get around them, and then they finally got their, just rewards and they could really relax into it.
It's hard not to think how much pressure that team would have been feeling going into a home World Cup final. The weight of the world was on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And for them to, beat beat South Africa in the style that they did is pretty phenomenal. And it's hard not to think what impact this is going to have on the world game.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a watershed moment for the women's game, not too dissimilar to Australia winning the T20 World Cup final at the MCG. Like, I think the scale of this win's even bigger than that because it's just going to have such positive impacts on the game globally. The way that the franchise world is working, the WPL is only going to go from strength to strength now. There's such a thirst for women's cricket in India, and this is going to have a ripple effect across the world. So I think it's pretty cool times ahead for women's cricket.
Yeah, and you got that sense with the win that everybody was sort of celebrating it because of that, because we all know what it can do if India can win something like that and then show how much women's cricket can do and what it delivers. It is huge for everybody across the world. And in particular, I was thinking about the young girls in the Indian diaspora around the world who might then play for Australia, who might play for South Africa, who might play for New Zealand because that's where they were born and raised, but they have Indian descent. Like, it also affects them and their families who look at that and go, yeah, women can play cricket. This is a viable career for you, and encourage them to actually get out there and give it a go. So on so many levels, it was actually, the biggest moment of the summer for me. And I have to say, I felt pretty proud.
I did too. Like, it was a really emotional time watching that because, again, as I mentioned, thinking about how much pressure that team was under, it was a bit of a monkey off the back for them because they hadn't won a World Cup. So the world's their oyster now, and I think they're going to be really hard to beat when it comes to the T20 World Cup in England later this year.
Well, when you look back at those 5 moments, it really does feel like the summer where the game kept moving forward. It just feels like this summer it's a moment of transition and evolution, both for the Australian squad, but also just globally. It really feels like a wonderful time actually for women's cricket. Were there any that really were a bit tough to miss out in your top 5?
Oh, I've got so many honourable mentions.
Yes, tell me.
Well, we love the Soph Molyneux appointment for skipper. She fell just outside the top 5. Oh, and Nick Carey breaking back into the Australian team. Love that story. There's so many, Rana. I just don't even know where to. I didn't know where to start. This was the toughest assignment that I've had on this podcast thus far, narrowing down to 5 moments of the summer.
Oh, well, you did a very, very good job. I actually rate all of them. And I mean, the WNCL alone had so many storylines. It's been an amazing summer. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you doing the homework that I set for you.
Thank you. It was very stressful.
Well, this is our last episode, so you get a little bit of a spell now. We're going to take a break, and then after this, we are going to go around the grounds. All right, well, it is now time to go around the grounds for the last time, for a little while anyway. Hopefully we will be back. Just quietly putting in a few words to Todd Greenberg. Molly, the WNCL season has produced one of the tightest finishes we've seen in years.
Wowee, a lot has happened in the week of cricket in the WNCL world. We knew what had to happen in the last round. There was a lot of teams that needed to, either 2 wins, bonus points, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let me unpack. SA v New South Wales. SA needed to have 2 wins to progress through the final, could only manage 1. SA out. Queensland, 2 wins against Victoria with a bonus point, puts them in a really good position to progress through the final. But on the very last day of the WNCL home and away summer, it came down to this. WA needed to chase 206 off 18.5 overs to progress through the final. So not only did they need a bonus point, they needed a significant net run rate boost. Unfortunately, WA got bowled out trying to shoot for the stars there to make the final, which you totally understand. So ACT ended up beating WA in that last game. So there we have it. That means Queensland progresses through to the final, who will play New South Wales on Saturday at Cricket Central. You
totally had red string along your wall, mapping it all out, didn't you? You needed to. I mean, that was the most dramatic last chance for WA, and they fell short. But it sets up this final so beautifully. Now we have New South Wales versus Queensland, March 21st at Cricket Central. How do you see that matchup?
Oh, a mouth-watering matchup, mind you. There's always been a bit of beef between New South Wales and Queensland as well. So you got the historical stuff there. But, geez, it's hard not to tip New South Wales at home with the inclusion of Elisa Healy. Like, that is just a game changer, having someone of that quality being inserted into your top order. But I saw Queensland firsthand last week and they look cherry ripe as well. So I think the game's going to be an absolute thriller.
That is the power move to go. And yeah, in our ins list is Alyssa Healy. Like, what? That's how do you not win after that?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And they've got there's so many subplots to this game. How do Queensland nullify Tahlia Wilson and Katie Mack? They've been so dominant. They've scored mountains of runs. Lauren Cheadle takes wickets for fun up the top with the new ball for New South Wales. Redmayne, forever reliable, close to 500 runs again this season. Sienna Ginger's been awesome with the new ball, bowling, hooping in swing. She's taken 19 wickets. So there's so many fascinating matchups within this game that will play out throughout the day.
Who are you looking at for player of the match?
I think Midge is just going to pull something out of the bag, isn't she? We know she's a big game player and I wouldn't put it past her to just sign out with a big 100, New South Wales native colours. So if it's not Midge, I'm putting my money on Katie Mack as well.
Is there any world in which she just rocks up because she's like, I'm done and kind of...
I'll bat at 8 girls.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's her. I feel like she's there to win.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, yeah, like we said, Saturday, it's going to be so exciting. I actually cannot wait to watch that. We've also got to talk about the 100 because that is the other big story this week. The women's salary pot has doubled to about 1.7 million Australian dollars per team, Molly.
It's so cool, isn't it? This is probably something that I didn't envisage would happen in my lifetime playing cricket. How the women's game has just gone from strength to strength so quickly in a short period of time is so cool to see. And I was so fascinated by the auction, and I'm happy to talk about it and unpack it with you, Rana, if you want to, because
yes,
I'm
please.
all over the 100 auction.
Yes.
I loved it.
Tell me, okay, so first tell me who were the big names that went for lots and lots of money?
Well, it was interesting because some players could be pre-sold to teams. So at the auction, there were 8 Australians sold, but in total there's 18 Australian players going over to the 100. 10 of them were pre-sold, 8 in the auction. Beth Mooney had the big payday, close to 400,000 Australian dollars, and deserving of every penny, mind you. World-class player. She'll take the gloves for the Trent Rockets. So she was one of the big winners at the auction, and along with Sophie Devine, she's been a world-class all-rounder for so many years. So unsurprisingly, those two were the two big winners at the auction.
Annabelle Sutherland and Phoebe Litchfield also landed huge deals, didn't they?
Yeah, they were pre-signed to Leeds, so they weren't up for the bidding war on the auction.
It's such a weird, it's so weird because you're actually talking about human beings being sold, but it's not as awkward as it sounds. This is a great payday for them, but it does feel weird to talk about. I mean, this is the most lucrative women's league globally outside the WPA. This is incredible.
Well, this is the great thing about all the franchise competitions these days where the IPL had set the bar, the 100's coming up a little bit closer. I wouldn't be surprised if the WBBL starts to push the boundaries a little bit more with their pay, because at the end of the day, you want the best players to come and play in your competition. So in order to do that, you got to keep up with the other competitions globally. So
I guess that's why we have conversations about privatisation, right? Because this competition is now fierce. And for those of us in administration land, this is what we've been talking about for a long time, where if you build it, it will then build on itself and regenerate and push the competition. And we just needed a few people to kick it off. And now we're seeing that, and the market sort of takes over. Not to get too nerdy about it, but I just love to see it. And I love that, playing professional women's cricket is now a viable career for people and has been and is going to only get better. It's phenomenal. Were there any bargains, you think, or surprises?
Yeah, I've got a couple that I was surprised about, but a bargain pick for mine is Australia's own Lizelle Lee. She went for a 55,000 K probably a lower end deal, but she is a certified T20 gun. She was outstanding in the WPL. She was in the team of the tournament for the WBBL, a massive part of the Hurricanes win, her making quick runs at the top order.
She can keep and bash.
She's such a solid pick for your team because you know she can take the gloves and you know she's going to be destructive with the bat, and the way she hits the ball is like no other. So I think she went for an absolute steal, and she's my bargain pick of the auction.
Any surprises?
Yeah, there was one person I was shocked by, which was our own Amanda Jade Wellington.
Friend of the pod. She didn't get picked up, which I was hugely shocked by because in the competition's history, she is the second leading wicket taker. She's played 40 games and taken 52 wickets. So she's a proven performer in that competition in the UK and has a huge amount of experience playing over in the UK, playing county cricket and stuff as well. So I was massively shocked to see Amanda Jade Wellington not get picked up. Friend of the pod. I know, that's bizarre. Have you got any sense of why that happens sometimes? Is it just, or that's just luck? I don't know.
Sometimes it's just dependent on what teams have in their own backyard as well. Like there's a lot of great domestic spinners in the UK, so maybe not as much of a need to go shopping internationally for your spin stock. Some great left arm spinners in the UK, a few leggies coming through the ranks as well. So maybe not as much of a need for that skill set in the UK, but yeah, it's never auctions are so interesting depending on, you know, what teams need and what other teams pinch off other people and all stuff like that. So yeah, that was the big shock for mine.
Huge money and huge scenes from the 100 auction. Thank you for giving us your wrap of all of that. Before we finish around the grounds, Molly, you talked about Katie Mack, and she is, of course, the WNCL Player of the Year. We've just found out.
Hugely fitting. She's had a phenomenal season. And this was a big season for Katie Mack too. She'd played for the ACT for a decade. Such an important figure down there from a leadership point of view and a run-making ability. Moves back to her native New South Wales. A huge move. I remember all the articles prior to the season starting, everyone being so shocked that she would leave ACT. But how cool for her. She's come to New South Wales, literally could not stop making runs. And now she'll play in a WNCL final, which she hasn't done for a very long time. So I'm sure she's very excited to play in a grand final. And yeah, I'm really happy for her. She's been a consistent performer for years and years and years. It's been a bit of a shame that she hasn't been around the national stuff because with some of her scores throughout the WBBL and the WNCL, if she was in any other country, she probably would be playing for her nation. But yeah, what an awesome season she's had in her first back in New South Wales colours.
And a potential player of the final. We're saying maybe if Alyssa Healy doesn't pip her. Congratulations, Katie Mack. We are so thrilled for you. That is the show, and that is the show for a little while. We may or may not be back. We don't know. We'll hopefully be back. It would be great to come back and talk about the World Cup, Mol.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a fun 6 weeks it has been, Rana. We've experienced so much, with the cricket world moving at fast pace as it always does. We've had the Australian tour, we've had auctions, we've had WNCL records. It's been a whole lot of fun.
Honestly, it really has been. We wrap up the Australian Summer of Women's Cricket now, and a huge thank you to everyone who's listened, to everyone who's supported, who's DM'd us, who's sent in questions. Thank you to all the guests as well. We've had some great chats. Definitely go back and listen if you've missed any. It's been wonderful. A massive thank you to Josh and Will, our producers at CA, and the boys at Roland as well for keeping us sharp and sounding very, very good.
Roland.
We will continue to sing that at them as long as we possibly can. Thank you as well to you, Molly, for being here with me. And is there nothing you don't know about cricket?
Well, I'm just the biggest nuffy of all time. I just love the game. I love everything involved about playing and being a part of the, Australian cricket community. So it's been the easiest job in the world to talk about something that I love so much.
Oh, it's been the easiest and best job in the world to just sit across from you and listen to you talk about cricket and watch your eyes light up and your face light up. It's just delightful, honestly. Thank you so much for being here and being my co-host. Congratulations again to Tahlia Wilson ahead of her Australian squad call-up, and good luck on the weekend. I'm Rana Hussain. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you again soon.